Hey Stampers, Rachel here from Rachthestamper.com, and this is our third card in the series. This is like a clipboard card, which I think is super cute. I didn't finish the inside. I usually don't finish them until I send them. Sometimes I'll put like a little scrap of leftover DSP in here just to add to the bottom, but I didn't do that yet either. So this does use a couple things that you can kind of make your own. You could use the in color glimmer paper for this. I used some retired paper, which I have absolutely no idea what color it is. And I also used some foil that I just had. There is a new foil that's going to be coming out in the holiday catalog. And then I have the extra paper clip from the other card that I made in the series earlier. But basically I just used some of the Country Woods DSP. And you do need a corner rounder because I did round the corners here, but that's optional. You don't have to do that. And we used, show you the kit. This is the piece of glimmer paper. I don't remember. I feel like this was in the Myths and Magic DSP bundle or glitter bundle that we had. So that's what I'm using. And then the paper is just whatever you have. So this is the other side. You could use either side. And then I do also have the lavender, perennial lavender paper. So I'm going to use this for a different card. So I just want to finish the rest of them. But we have Highland Heather. So it's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. A piece of DSP that measures 4 by 5 1/4. This is for the inside, white, 4 by 5 1/4. Then the little piece for the clipboard, I think it's 3 by 4. Yeah, 3 by 4. And I just went ahead and rounded the corners. You could use any corner rounder. You could even leave them straight if you want. It's up to you. And then this measures just a 1/4 inch smaller because we are going to die cut this. And then this is for our sentiment. And I am using the the second smallest. These are like the floral pattern, so that's what I call that one. This one is the paper plate because I feel like when you cut it out it looks like a plate. So that's what we're going to do for that. So a lot of this is already done, so I do have this corner rounded. I'm going to stamp the lined paper and I'm going to stamp the sentiment. So most of this, and we're going to be using Secret C again for the lines, comes out of just a note. So that's the You've Got This, which we're going to do in Blackberry Bliss. But you could also use, just depending on what you wanted to add to it, just, you know, thanks for being the best. Thinking of you brings a smile. Most of these things will fit on here. This one might be a little bit tight, but I mean, lots of different things. You could also use one of these other ones if you wanted to. I actually might make a couple of these. I think I'm gonna do a couple Happy Back to School because we are starting school soon. So I think I'm gonna swap over to that. Well, actually, You've Got This would be the same because, you know, to teachers, they got to make it work, right? Oh, and then we also do need the die for the clipboard portion. So let's ink this up, and I'm going to do Happy Back to School. So I'm going to stamp that in the center, and I'm going to grab my lines. I'm going to try to line them up so they are at the edge because I keep making them so they're not really straight. So we'll see if this works. All right, and just going to pick a side and go with it. That looks good. And then I'm going to die cut that. So to make this a little bit easier, one thing I want to tell you that I did is that I actually put some adhesive sheet. Oh, here's my other paper clip. This is left over from earlier because it does cut 2 of them out. So you could do 2 projects at once. But I do put sticker sheet onto the back of my foil. Now, you don't necessarily have to do it with this one because this you're going to just glue on. And actually what you can do if you wanted to is you could even pop this up on a dimensional right here so it kind of sticks off a little bit so it looks like a clipboard. So I'm going to just cut this out of regular foil, not foil that has adhesive sheet on it. That way I can pop it up. So I have to cut that, and I have to cut this. And I have to cut this, and where's my stamp set? I just had it a second ago. I just have to cut this with the paper. So we had that little cutout. This, to me, I mean, I know I'm always one that's like, there's so many steps, but I just love this. I don't know why, I do. And this is also undercut a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm just making sure this lines up on the side. And then since this is straight, it's fine. So I'm just gonna put a little piece of tape. And just like so. And then we're gonna cut this. So I'm just gonna grab my platform and I'm gonna put all these things on. Now, since this does have straight edges, I am gonna, as always, I'm trying to just slightly angle it because you don't want the edges to go through the roller bar straight. Excuse me, because it puts a lot of pressure on the die and it can bend, warp, or break it. So I'm just gonna put all these on and we're gonna run them through and then we'll assemble this. Okay. And there's that. And here's our sentiment. And then here is this. So the little circle does pop out. So what we're gonna do on this is we're gonna glue the bottom down. I actually might put a little bit of tear and tape, and then I'm gonna put this part up with the dimensional so it kind of sticks up a little bit so it really looks like a clipboard. I don't know. I'm like a sucker for that kind of stuff. Even though I always think it's a lot of work. It is cute. All right, so now what we're gonna do, oh, I forgot one thing. Duh, I didn't cut out my heart. Let me run this through real quick. Now, same with this, you can put sticker sheet, and this does have sticker sheet on it for the heart, but it just is up to what you want to do. Let me run this through real quick. The nice part about if you do sticker sheet and you have a really detailed die, it actually helps to clear the back out of it a little bit. So if you have like a bunch of stuff and it needs to come off, so like this, you'll see it just pops out really easily. Now granted, that's not that hard, but if you have a really detailed die, like if you decided to put adhesive sheet on the back of this, all these little circles will just pop right out super easily when you take the release paper off. So that's always a nice bonus. And I think I'm gonna trim this just a smidge, just like a 1/16 of an inch, just so it's not quite as big. Okay, so all we're gonna do is we're gonna glue this down to this, but we do wanna stick this underneath first. And we need to remove the adhesive sheet on this. So you could stick it sideways if you wanted to. If you wanna stick this part up instead. I'm pretty sure the clip part though, were to go, it goes like this. So that's what it's supposed to look like, I guess, technically. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a little bit of glue on the back. And then we're going to take the adhesive sheet off of that, and we're gonna kind of put all this together at the same time. And then this is gonna go on. And we do also need to take off, this can go on last because we're just sticking it. We do need to take this adhesive backing off of this so we can stick it down easier. So I'm gonna peel this. Oops, just gonna leave that there. Hopefully it'll come off of my finger. Come on now. Okay, sorry. All right, so we're gonna take this off and we're gonna stick this under here, like so. Then we're gonna stick this to this clipboard, kind of like that. And we're gonna add our little sentiment. Then we're gonna take our paper clip and we're gonna kind of stick this. Now it's gonna be sticky and it's gonna want to stick to your finger, but don't worry about that part right now because we are gonna glue it down. I'm gonna take some more glue and pop this on here. And and I need to glue this down. Okay, so that is on. And we're going to take this and kind of stick this on. And remember, you do want to make sure that all your components are on here, so you don't want this hanging over the edge. We're going to put a little glue here. And I do want to put a dimensional. Just that way it sticks up a little bit. I don't know, I think it'll be cute. And I am hand delivering this, so I don't really, not concerned with the fact of if it's heavy to mail, but it kind of gives it that little lift so it looks like a clipboard. I mean, that's adorable. And that's it. The only thing I forgot to do was my reinforcing with my bone folder. And I am going to give this to Christian and he can write something nice in it. He really likes his homeroom teacher that he has this year for 6th grade. Not that he hasn't liked every one, I don't mean to say it that way, but he actually had her before for a different grade, so he's really excited to get her again. So that's pretty fun, especially going into middle school. That way you have a little bit of confidence of, you know, somebody there, and makes you feel a little bit more comfortable. So that's exciting for him. All right, so that is it. And let's see. Perfect. So there we go. Really fun card. Again, this original one, you can see I just glued this flat down. This one does stick up a little bit, so it kind of depends on which one you think that you like better, but I think they're all adorable. Really fun cards to make. I think anybody that got these would love them. And the great part is you could change this color scheme up if you wanted to go with a different DSP, or maybe you were doing something that was like themed. If you were making something for people, say someone ordered some cards from you and you were like, we want Halloween themed clipboards for, we're doing like a walkthrough with a haunted house or training people or something, that would be really easy to duplicate this as well. So lots of different ideas that you could do for that. If you have any questions about this, if you have any suggestions for card ideas or stamp sets you'd like to see me use, please feel free to leave me a comment. If you check out the previous videos, I didn't talk about it this time, but there are some changes coming up with Stampin' Up, and the cling mount stamps are going to be discontinued. Also the markers, the Stampin' Write markers, they're not going to have any longer, and they are changing some packaging as well. So if you want, you can check out my first or second video in this card series, and it tells you all about it, and I'll probably go through it again in the final one. I want to thank you so much for watching today. Free ways to support me are like, subscribe, follow, and share this with your friends. You can leave me a comment here. That's also greatly helpful in making my video be seen. Thank you so much for taking time to watch. I hope you learned something today, and I hope you have a great day.